Good morning, everybody. This is the one and only Trevay Willis. I'm live coming from you from Durham, North Carolina. And what a pleasant morning I'm having. And guys, I'm just thankful to be before you guys on the platform on today. I'm thankful for just life itself. Guys, for the last couple days, I was thinking about my the video that I was going to speak on today. I got it categorized on what topic I want to speak on, and this one basically stuck out more than any other video that I actually had in plan for 2024. And I wanted to pretty much talk to you guys about doing mental health transportation. I know we do medical transportation, like, from dialysis, from the doctor's appointments, and from the hospitals and things to that nature. But guys, listen, there's more to it out there than just that. All those things are great, but whenever you tap into doing medical transportation and your name is out there, you got your name on Google, and things to that nature, you are going to have people that's going to call you for all sorts of different type of transportations. So years ago, I was, sitting in my office, and I got a call from this hospital in Raleigh, North Carolina, called Holly Hill Hospital. Now, for the ones that's not local and that's across the world, Holly Hill Hospital is a mental institution. They have a adult side and they have a children's side. So years ago, we got called to by the state of North Carolina. They have like caseworkers, and she calls and she says, "Hey, Mr. Willis, I got a transport up to Rock Hill, South Carolina on tomorrow." They always call a day or two ahead. I don't understand why they do that. They don't never call in like a week ahead, but they called like a day before, and they said, "Hey, we got a transport to Rock Hill, South Carolina. It's a, it's a 10-year-old boy, and he was in the Holly Hill Hospital due to behaviors and stuff to that nature." But I took the chance. I did it. And as I mentioned in previous videos, I keep black sedans, or I keep like Ford Flexes for those type of transports, because it's overkill to transport, in a wheelchair van across, state lines or whatever the case may be. So I went to the hospital. He came out. The little boy came out in, like scrub tight, paper pants, and he came in like some little slide-on shoes. They didn't have like the shoestrings. They had straws in them to be able to keep them tight and all that, due to suicide prevention. So I transported him there, and I was kind of hesitant about, basically stopping to get something to eat, because I don't know what the nature of this situation is, and I didn't know. They said he was an eloper, but there are some cases where Holly Hill or Central Regional will call and say, "Hey, we got an individual that is eloper." So I'm like, I don't want to be, risking it, because it's simple fact of the matter. If I have to go to the bathroom, who's going to tend to this kid? And then if he elopes, that liability and that blood risk is upon my hands. So this kid was cool, dropped him off there. The trip was, relatively good. It was an $850 trip to transport the kid 4 hours up the road. And he could walk, no wheelchair. A lot of the transports from the mental institution, they don't have wheelchair. A lot of them are not wheelchairs. I actually have never had a wheelchair transport from there at all. So I transported him there. Everything was good. Came back to North Carolina. Then I got a call. Matter of fact, a day before my birthday. How ironic. Holly Hill called and said, "Hey, we got this little girl, and she is 8 years old.
I can't connect to the Wi-Fi network. You might want to check the connection settings in the Google Home app."
Excuse me about that, guys. But they called and they basically stated she needs to get to Asheville, North Carolina. I picked her up, but the thing about it was I checked prior to picking her up to figure out what her situation was, because I didn't want something with a high behavior or anything to that nature. So they stated that she was emotionally depressed. She tried to kill the mom, the dad, and the dog, and tried to kill her brother and her sister. So they was like, but she's so sweet and everything. I was like, So number one, I was hesitant about it, but number two, it was a little girl I was dealing with. So to keep that liability off of me, I got a CNA to ride with me, just to keep the liability off of me. Because in this world and these days and times we live in, it's always he say, she say, and then I got a lot to lose. I don't want to risk somebody saying, oh, he did this, he did that. So I got somebody to ride with me, and then nowadays I got cameras and I've got GPS on my cars. But yeah, we took her down there, and the little girl was the sweetest little girl ever. She was a very kind, loving child, and I'm like thinking, once we dropped her off, and it was sad because when we picked her up from the Holly Hill up in Raleigh, we got her to Asheville, and I had to call this individual, this lady, and the lady pulls up in a van. It was like a 15-passenger van, and they had like 12 girls in there, and they were all going to a home. And it kind of touched me. I'm like, oh my God, this is like, I got to know this little girl in this 4-hour trip, and it's sad to see where she's about to go. So I had to get it together. But we did that trip. The trip was successful. And then we had a transport about a couple months ago. It was an elderly lady coming from Holly Hill Hospital, going to where was she going? She was going to Hickory, North Carolina. And we used a black sedan for her. Very kind lady, elderly lady. I think she had a nervous breakdown or some case to that nature. But we dropped her off there. But what I'm saying is, guys, if you are in an area that has a mental institution, if you are interested in doing that, always reach out to the caseworkers, reach out to them and tell them, hey, we provide mental health transportation. We got a call the other day from the sheriff's office in Wake County, and they were stating, hey, about opportunities, possibly for doing this kind of transportation. But, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to do all of it because I don't, just because you get 2 or 3 good ones, you may have 2 or 3 bad ones, and the bad ones are, they could be violent, or you don't know what their rap sheet is or anything to that nature. But, it's just one of those things you have to really discern. Use your discerning spirit to really figure out, hey, if it's going to be a good fit, because all money is not good money and things to that nature. But we did. I also got a call from the juvenile detention center up in Butner, North Carolina, and, transport a little boy to the doctor's appointments, back and forth 3 days a week. That's a great opportunity that we tapped into for 2024 and the end of 2023. So guys, like I stated, when you get into this industry, you're going to be exposed to a lot of stuff. You're going to get people that's going to call for this, that, and the third and say, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And it's good exposure, man. I'm telling you, because if you tap into one thing that's odd and that's not the norm, it opens you up for other opportunities, because word of mouth is very important, and it's very the word of mouth is very valuable. So now our name is out there. We get a lot of transports from many different sources. Some of it I do because I just like to be able to do different things and stuff to that nature. But the opportunity is out there. So for its pricing wise, I normally charge them, $1.75 to $2 a mile to do a regular transport for the mental hospitals, going to and from different places and stuff to that nature. But hey, every region, every metropolitan area is different. Just because my price was good to my company doesn't mean that it will be good for yours. You may want to charge more, or you may want to charge less. It all depends on what you feel comfortable with. The only thing I'm going to say is don't shoot yourself in the foot. Make sure you are able to cover your gas and your other expenses whenever you're transporting for them. Not also them, but just anybody, nursing homes. workers' compensation companies and churches on the weekends. If you transport for churches on the weekends, make sure you get a proper rate for being there on the weekends. It's a service fee, premium rate. Before 5 o'clock in the morning, after 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever the case may be, charge your premium rates, because guess what? It's an inconvenience. And for many years I was, afraid to, charge, because of me feeling like I was going to hurt the person's feeling, like, oh my God, that's too expensive. But believe it or not, and I'm going to do another video about rates soon. I'm just touching in a little bit about this, but you're going to have people that's going to really, gravitate to your rates. You're going to have some people say it's too expensive. I've had 2 people call the same day saying, hey, I need a transport here. How much is your rate? So I'm like, hey, it's $165. So you're like, oh, that's not bad. Oh, okay, let's do that. Then you have somebody else that calls 3 hours later and be like, hey, I need to transport to this place. And you're like, oh, that's going to be $125. So I'm like, oh, that's too much. Oh my God. Can you do any better than that? No, don't say no. Don't lower your prices, because once you lower your prices, you lower your value in your company and yourself. So keep that in mind. I'll do a video on that next. But guys, thank you so much. I just wanted to share with you on the mental health transport, and tap into it. If you need anything, give me a call. Thank you.